Welcome in, Triad Tea Time. Scotty Scheffler falls short in a playoff. And some more local golf here on, of course, Triad Tea Time.
Yeah, the Triad Golf Show, rolling out the gate. Mark Zanetto in the car, Johnny O can relate. Local course by local course, we take the long way home. We slice it, we stamp it, we never play alone. We know the pain, we know the game. One clean swing.
All right, welcome in. There's Johnny O. I'm Mark Zanetto with Triad Tea Time. Johnny, I know you were watching the Travelers, and I was as well, through the rain delay and all that at the end on Sunday. And then yesterday, the very abrupt finish to a playoff. Were you surprised? Go back to even the first day. Were you surprised he didn't kind of run away with it? There's so many guys in the fourth round. Colin Morikawa shot 9 under. You had guys like Charlie Connors coming out of nowhere and shooting a 60. So I know he shot 60 on Friday or Saturday. So he's very capable. What is it about Scotty that he hasn't been able to get over the hump this year?
I know. I'm trying to figure that out myself. But again, I think I've told you off air. I'm kind of happy he's not winning these and giving these other guys a chance. But I think it just comes down to, and let's not put him down. I mean, obviously he's all these top fives, we're not putting him down. I mean, he's always right there, but he's not hitting those putts that put you over the top, that win the tournaments, that he always has done the last, 2 or 3 years. And again, it's all about putting. If you hit the putts, it's you're going to win tournaments. And you just mentioned all the scores, and you mentioned last week, or when the Travelers was coming up, that there's going to be some incredible scores at the course.
Yep.
Yes, they're 21 under is unbelievable. I thought maybe it's going to be I thought maybe 25, 26 under was going to win, but I'm looking at like Hovland, he went 65, 61, 64, 69. You mentioned Scheffler's second day was a 60. So he went 64, 60, 67, 68. And then you got Colin Morikawa, okay? 69, 66, 64, 61 on Sunday,
Yep.
So each of those three had 60 and 61s in that, for the weekend. And that's just, think about that score. Come on, Z.
It's insane.
Oh my gosh.
It's insane. No, it's insane. And I got to give my boy Victor, that's my son's name. So every time Viktor Hovland plays, I'm always like, I always root for Victor, even though it's spelled differently. But man, I give him a lot of credit, but another guy I give a ton of credit to is Wyndham Clark. Are you serious? Coming off of the U.S. Open Whirlwind Tour, you're on every podcast and every show in America for the last however how many days. You got to fly to, no disrespect to my home state of Connecticut, it's not sexy. You're in Cromwell, Connecticut, and you show up and you have a top 5 finish. The guy was in contention to the end. He bogeyed 17 that knocked him out. But man, he had a chance to go birdie to tie and get in a playoff, and obviously couldn't do it. But I give him a ton of credit.
Oh, love that you're giving him love for that, because not too many major champions play the following week.
1,000%.
And when they do, he came to play. He is right now, he's on fire. He's just playing perfect golf, Wyndham Clark golf. And I think that's why he's playing every weekend. But no, I was rooting for him too, to really make kind of a run toward the end. And he tried and he almost did. And, maybe he just ran out of gas, man. That's probably a long week.
Yeah, no. I have to give you one insight to the tournament. A buddy of mine, Kyle Mordecai, who's a former teaching pro himself. He's up in Connecticut, does fittings and stuff like that. I saw on his social media, people were pretty pissed at the Travelers, because so they had the rain delay, and then a lot of the patrons were like, well, there's no shelter. It was storming, like when we played the other day, just complete downpour. Yeah. And so guys were asking, can we go to our car and come back? And everyone was like, oh yeah, no problem. But when they came back, they were like, no re-entry. Ooh. What?
Ooh.
What are we doing here? So I have to give. I mean, I give that a absolute like zero for.
Yeah.
I mean, we tagged the PGA, we tagged the Travelers, no response. Like it had to be like a couple people that were misinformed that just kind of screwed over these paid patrons of a major FedEx Cup event. It's really unfortunate. I was frustrated for a bunch of my buddies up there that went to the last round.
Yeah, that's not right. Oh my gosh, especially when they're told, come on back, and when it's raining like that, let the people back. My God, and
Could you
it was
imagine if that happened
pouring.
at the Wyndham?
Oh yeah,
They
yeah.
would riot.
Come on,
It would be
but
nuts.
your boy Victor, okay, what a
Mm,
player he is, man. I've always liked him right from, I can't believe these years have passed, but he started as a pro back in 2019. That doesn't even
right.
seem that long ago. 28 years old, out of Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State always has some great golfers. How about, I mean, I was, when I was watching, excuse me, I go, Kim, I go, look how solid that guy is. He's 5'10", 165. I just thought of him as,
Bigger.
little. I mean, but it's all muscle. It's got to be all
Yeah.
muscle, I guess. But he
So
is
you're
thick.
you're
A lot like
the,
Rory. He's built like Rory, I think. But what do you think of him? I mean, 8 wins in his career, $44 million in winnings already. He's 28 years old. And I thought this one was really good. And I think this is why I, have gotten to know him so well. 127 out of 146 cuts he's made. That's outstanding.
yeah, and he's typically either in contention or not. It's like not. It's one or the other. He either wins the tournament or he comes in. He makes the cut, but he doesn't. He's not one of these serial top 10 guys, top five.
Yep.
Like he doesn't have a Scotty Scheffler type year. He either wins multiple times on tour or is constantly at the top. And they made it a point because you mentioned eight wins already at the ripe young age of 28. And as the Europeans describe him, he's wiry. He's not thick. He's a wiry player. He
Yep.
gets a lot of rotation. Like he crushes the ball. He's Norwegian. I for some reason I thought he was not from Norway, another country, and they were there because of the World Cup. And he like came and did in the crowd, and they're doing the rowing thing at the end
Yeah.
of it. That
Yeah.
was pretty cool. He seems like a really good kid. I say kid because I'm probably double his age now. So like he's just a nice guy. So I like it for him because he's the type of player that when he gets hot, he's probably the best or second best player in the world. But when it goes a little awry, he said it in the interview post the win. He's trying to be nicer to himself and have a little perspective on what he's trying to do. So that's
Yep.
always a good thing, man, because golf is so tough. You're not always going to play your A game. And he started off terrible on Sunday. So that's even more credit to him. He
I
was
know.
one over after like 12 holes. And then
Yep.
he still rallied to get it to a playoff.
He battled, and I like what Scheffler said about him afterwards. Just one of the hardest working golfers out there. That's always good to hear. And you know what I love about him, and he's got his own style. He's got the Norwegians or whoever that come and
Yep.
follow him, and doing all the kind whatever chants they're doing. But there's something about him that I enjoy watching, so it's fun to watch. Where Scheffler's not a lot of fun to watch except for perfection, which is pretty good. But that little smirk Victor always has, and it's the same smirk if he misses a putt or if he makes a putt, man. He's just he kind of laughs at himself when he does something bad, and I guess that's a pretty good attitude in the game of golf.
No, without a doubt. I think listen, I won't make any predictions because the game is so fickle, but if he keeps doing what he's doing, I think we'll see him as a major champion, pretty in short time. Um, there's a few guys that obviously have broken through, and I think he's going to be the next one. And I haven't been too bad with my picks. I had some money on him to win it this round, so that was a nice windfall for me because he had some good odds. So good for me and good for Victor.
Yeah.
All right, so something local right now as we transition to more here in the Triad. You introduced me to what's going to end up being one of our sponsors on the program. And I want to put this out there for people because I go to simulators all the time. I I try to frequent a few different ones, here in the Triad, or even hell, if I go to Golf Galaxy to like pick up some golf balls, I usually go, hey, you mind if I hit a few balls in this just to hit a few, right?
Yeah.
That's how I get a little practice in,
Sure.
without anything there. And when I went to For Real on Horseman Creek Road in Greensboro, totally blown away. Met with the owner there.
Clay
He
Jordan. Clay
Clay
Jordan.
Jordan. He was phenomenal. Gave me a nice little rundown. I only had a few minutes to kind of look at it, but man, I'm gonna put some stuff up here. Let me see where we got it here. Yeah, if you are interested, definitely go check out the website at forreal24.com. What I love about it, Johnny O, is it's so realistic that you can go and practice, just driver. You can do isolate different things. You can go, I'm only going to do 6 or 7 irons today, and kind of get a really good idea of how to hit shots based off of sometimes, it's a great example. You hit a good drive on a shot and you get up to it, and all of a sudden you have an uphill lie or a downhill lie. And it's the same distance, but now that kind of changes the angle of your club head, right?
Mhm.
So you can change that as you practice. So you can practice an uphill lie, you can practice a downhill lie, you can practice in the rough, you can practice on the fairway, you can even practice in the sand.
In
And
the
it's so
sand.
realistic. It's so
Yeah.
wild to me. So
Yeah.
I was totally blown away. And it's a membership. It's 24/7. You can get tee times from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Go with 3 or 4 of your buddies. And here's the last wonderful thing about forreal24.com and this For Real with Clay Jordan. If you are married like I am and have young kids, and your wife doesn't love that you go play golf for 4 hours at certain times, you could go play 18 holes in an hour,
Yep.
likely. I
If
mean, it's a great alternative to someone that has a busier schedule, or they want to make sure that they're, stay married, don't get divorced over golf. How about that?
Yep.
That's
No,
a, that's a good thing.
that's a great example of what he has over there. And to even kind of go a little further, you can go actually it's open 24 hours. If you're a
24/7. Yep.
member, you can use it. So, you put the kids to bed, wife's tired, it's 9:15. Shoot, Z-Man's thinking, man, I got some energy. You could go play for a couple hours if you want and be
Yeah.
back before midnight and get a good night's sleep. Um, he's got a nice facility. I think I used it over the winter because I've been with him for a while now, and it was enjoyable. And just the technology of it, and the way the floor moves, and like you're saying, with the different lies, and the sand really blew me away. I wish we had a picture of it, and maybe we'll put up
I
a
got
picture
something for
next.
you.
Okay,
No,
check
go
that
ahead.
out.
Keep talking through it. I have something on YouTube that I want to show. Go ahead.
Yeah, the sand is real. I mean, it's not real sand, but the way they have it, and you have a different lie. You actually can have two different lies um, of the sand, and it just plays perfectly off of it as you're hitting the ball. You know it. And again, like Z-Man was saying, it'll tell you where you hit it on the club and how good you hit it and all that. I mean, this thing, it's a self improving membership right there. You can go there by yourself and actually figure it out by just looking at all the numbers.
I want to show this as you were talking about it. So people, if you can see it, I'm sure you can see it on the screen here. If you're watching this on Spotify, or if you're listening to this on anything, Spotify, Apple, whatever, if you get the video of this, there's the area that you see that we're looking at right now, but where you stand, and you can see already in this motion that the ground can move. But if you can look to the right of your screen, you see the sand, like the beige part there. That's the sand,
Yep.
and then there's the part in front of it that's the rough. So you can actually practice out of. Listen, if you're in the rough all the time, practice out of that. Like that's where you're going to hit most of your balls, and you can
Yep.
get better at how you dictate the yardage, how it comes off of your club, because then it's videoed 360. You can see every angle of how your club reacts to out of the sand, off the tee, in the rough, against the grain. with the grain. So it's so immersive that it's almost a little overwhelming the first time you do it. But the more you get used to it, I think it'll really help people that are trying to analyze their game without saying, hey, I need to go spend, $1,000 on lessons. Just go and figure this out on your own for a little bit. And if you want to, if you're a better player and you want to, work on little nuanced things, swing coaches and stuff like that, that's different. But we're talking about recreational players. This is a great tool, and you can bring your kids, you can have your wife go with you. I mean, it's a really fun atmosphere. I'm all in. I love it. And it's just, I had to see it for myself when you talked about it.
Yep. Yep. And, even on the rough, you can change the grain too, which way the rough's going, which is a huge part of outdoor golf, just there's so many things that you can really utilize this. Oh, there's a great
look at that. Look at how it contours. I almost fell when he was explaining it to me. He was starting to do it and I didn't know it. And I was like, like, I was just like, because I didn't expect it. Like, to be able to hit the ball, we always bring him up because he's our guy, but Dan Knott always makes me laugh when he says stuff like, oh man, I have a downhill lie or something like that. And I never think about stuff like that.
Yeah.
But when you're there and you're getting to practice, then you can say, well, Dan Knott, you're kind of a genius, because that's something that I should have been considering when I'm talking about how to hit a shot. A 5-iron all of a sudden becomes a 6-iron when it's uphill, like all that stuff, like all the different little nuances that help you get better and get a lower score.
Yeah. No, people go check out forreal24.com. Clay Jordan, the owner, you'll absolutely love him. Total personality. Every time I have ever went in there, we've had some. I've always had a great time in there. And then he'll leave you alone and let you play. I played with him a couple times. It's just so. I love it. Yeah, I love playing outdoors. Okay, so I'm going to play outdoors more. But I'm telling you, this past January, how bad the weather was. February, my ass was over at 4Real24, man.
Also, like, when this comes out, there's going to be a huge heat wave for like 10 days. Get your ass in there and get into air conditioning and wear a t-shirt and shorts and have at it. Like, don't worry about going out and braving the 110 degree index heat, even though I will, because I have a couple tee times. But it's just such a great another adjacent thing that you can do to improve your golf game and grow the game. I think it's a really cool thing. Like, I can't wait to bring my son there and my younger kids to kind of practice. I'm going to use it as a family thing 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So what? Before we move on, I think we're going to talk about a couple of our last rounds. I played Country Hills again. I'll just tell you a little bit about that, and then I think you were going to talk about the challenge. I think.
Yeah. I played on the weekend with some buddies that are got a couple of sticks in that group, man. Even though I won some money, I don't think I had the best score. I can tell you that.
But I wanted to do a quick shout out. The upcoming pro tournament is the John Deere Classic. Okay, that gives me the chills because my dad, who we always called him the Big O, he worked at John Deere for 35 years. So
awesome.
Our house had everything was green, man. Our obviously a lawnmower. Back then they made bikes. We had snowmobiles. We had John Deere everything. So when the John Deere Classic comes up, it doesn't get the greatest field, but quite a few of the players play it. So I'll be tuning into that. But I wanted to give the Big O a shout out.
Oh, without a doubt, man. I love it. We can actually look at real quick. I wonder if they have any odds on who's in there and like if anyone is favorite. I'm sure whoever the higher ranked players are will obviously get the better odds and whatnot. But we'll look at that in a second here. But yeah, talk to me about you had a really clean round at Country Hills. I will shout out one guy who we did the golf trip with, John Locke. He is a guy that I've come to be good friends with. On our recommendation, he went to Country Hills with a group of guys and he shot 1 under 70. So I have to give him a shot. Like, and he was like, you guys were exactly right. Shorter course, but the putter was working. He's a consistent player and had himself a nice round.
you still got to hit the shots. I mean,
Yep.
it's a great course and great condition and very fair. But yeah, I played with Phil Papier and Charles Donoski, and we were playing for birdies and sandies and closest to the pin, all that kind of good stuff. But yeah, and no mulligans. We don't play mulligans when it's the three of us. And a nice clean. When I left there last Friday, a clean 78, one birdie, 10 pars and 7 bogeys, no double bogeys. That's the key to a good round. I mean, I'll take anything in that, when there's a 7 before it. Oh man, that makes for a good weekend, and the weekend even got better. I'm going to throw this in. My Red Sox swept the Yankees. Okay. But I thought I would throw that in, but no, the no mulligans, and stay away from doubles, and you can get a good score. But just a quick shout out, Country Hills. You do a heck of a job, man. Continue to keep it in good shape. And again, the best cart paths in the Triad.
I love Country Hills. Didn't get a chance to play with you guys there, but I did get a chance to play on Saturday. Was it Saturday or Sunday? I always forget. It doesn't matter. I played on the weekend, and it was Saturday, and we played the Challenge in Graham. And the Challenge always lives up to its name. Yep. It's in great shape. Fairways a couple weeks ago apparently were pretty brown, and they've bounced back completely. The greens are always in really good shape and really fast. Not as fast as down in Pinehurst, but man, they roll true, and you can find yourself in a lot of situations that you don't want to be in on that course. I did not play my best. I think I shot 83, but man, on the par fives, your boy won some money. So, that was the key. We played a game that I've never heard before. It was like rabbit and squirrel or something like that. And to the credit of Mac McMillan and his crew, they could have said I owed $20, and I would have been like, here, because I didn't know what the hell we were doing. I didn't know how they were keeping score. I just trusted it. And at the end of it, I walked away with I think $45 or something like that. So, hey, listen, I just shows how honest they are. Let's put it that way, right? Because if we were playing with some different guys, and we're like, oh yeah, you didn't win any money.
I love the Challenge. I mean, it's a little bit of ways from us, but not that far. It's worth the trip from Greensboro to Burlington. Let's go play that course in the next few weeks. Beautiful.
Yeah. And if you're where I am on Southeast, you just jump on, it takes 27 minutes from my house. So it's not any different than going to Oak Valley at High Point for me. So it's, when people are talking about it, initially I'm always like, oh, that's kind of a ride. And then you punch it in the GPS and you're like, oh, it's not that bad. I mean, you're there in a second. It's all highway.
Yep. All highway.
It's great. Staff was great. Greens ran true. Great group of guys. Obviously played for Dotson for some money. So that was fun. But yeah, I can't complain about the Challenge. I've had my best round there, and I've had some of my worst rounds there, because if you play well, you get really good opportunities to get birdie. But if you play poorly, you get a lot of doubles and triples.
Absolutely. No, you gotta hit the shots, man, for sure. But
all right, last thing. I think I can find John Deere Classic. Let's just go over this really quick. So it's not, like you said, it's not a huge field of well-knowns, but you have some up and coming guys like Ben Griffin, who had a good day at the Travelers, Chris Gotterup, who we've talked about. You got guys like Keegan Bradley, Keith Mitchell, some younger players like Jackson Coven. I think, Ricky Fowler always plays this. Michael Kim, who we've talked about. I am going to Jackson Suber. There's some interesting names in this mix. Your boy Max Homa is playing.
Oh,
I'm gonna say, first glance, I'm gonna say someone like, I'm gonna go Tom Kim. I'm gonna pick him out of nowhere, plus 3,500 to win the tournament. John Deere Classic. What are your thoughts?
He's been playing well. He has. I love that guy. I haven't looked at it. So this is what I'd like to do, and maybe look it up while you're right there. What's the odds of Max Homa for a top 5? Do you have that?
Yeah, let me see that. Where is he at, Max? Not bad, man. It's almost 4.25 to 1, plus 425.
Okay, that's what I'm gonna bet. I would bet Max Homa for a top 5 in the John
Oh, that's
Deere
top
Classic.
10. For top 5, it's 9-1.
Oh, I'm going to go top 5. I think he's going to
Okay.
sneak up there. He's overdue.
I like Max Homa a lot. He's a funny cat. But yeah, I watched an interview with him, and this reminds me of me, and I'm older now, so I don't do this as much anymore. But he said, I probably didn't have the right temperament when I first got into golf, because he's like, I let things bother me way too much, and it really comes down to me just being a better role model for my kids and just trying not to, act on impulse at all times. And that couldn't describe me from 5 to 10 years ago playing golf, without a doubt. Now, not so much.
Let me back you up on that. When we played before, not that I did not enjoy playing with you, but we I used to see some things come out of you. The last 3 times we've played, an absolute joy. You're relaxed. You got the music going.
Yeah,
Z-Man, I like what you've done to yourself.
I appreciate it. You just maybe ask one more question, because this has been a topic on social media in golf world. Do you like when music is played on the golf course?
When it's in my group, like you, playing it at that certain level, I'm okay with it. If the group ahead of me or behind me are playing it, then they're a bunch of what? What? I can't believe they got that damn music on. So I'm just being honest.
I love it. I love it. You guys, playing with you guys is also very enjoyable, and it brings me back to, and I think this has a lot to do with where we all grew up. For the most of us, some of the guys we play with were born down here in the South and whatnot. But man, it reminds me of growing up and going out and playing with my uncle or my dad's buddies.
Yeah.
That it's just, they just have a different mentality. It's like ready to play, and look at these freaking guys up here. It's like, have you watched us play? Like, what are the guys behind us saying? That's what I think about sometimes. But it's always a blast, and we have a good time. All right, buddy. Listen, get healthy. We're gonna get out there soon. Rest up, and we'll definitely talk about playing Forest Oaks tomorrow. And I'm going to come back with some really fun video and pictures of Pinehurst number 8 on July 2nd. I am super excited about that, and I will report back on the conditions and how good or bad I did. We'll see.
Well, I'm going to be doing a lot of ice and heat, because I want to be ready next week, because I don't have an exact day, but Scotty Pierman, one of the world's greatest long drivers, will be playing with him sometime next week. Once we set a date, I will let you know, but we got to do it next week, and I got to get healthy.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's until he faced off against me, and all of a sudden I'm going to, I'm not going to outdrive him. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to playing and watching someone go 50 yards, 100 yards ahead of me. So excited about that. And we'll see you next time on Triad Tea Time.
Yeah, the Triad Golf Show, rolling out the gate. Mark Zanetto in the car, Johnny O can relate. Local course by local course, we take the